clothing
I think so.
because we represent middle to late 1700s, 1800, turn of the century, right in that time period. The clothing was pretty much the same through that entire period. However, if you think back, let's say 250, 260, 270 years ago, this was the frontier. This was the Northwest Territory. So everything had, as the ladies mentioned, had to be brought in. Now, your jeans wear out. What do you have to do today?
Go buy a new one.
Go buy some new ones. Now, you are miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles from anything. Because if you're going to buy anything, it's got to come from Europe, across the ocean, down the St. Lawrence, across the lower Great Lakes, up the Great Lakes, around the Straits, down Lake Michigan, to get to here. So you probably couldn't afford to buy it to begin with.
You're probably.
Or the other way was it came from Europe, across the ocean, into the New Orleans region, up the Mississippi, portaged through a couple of rivers to the Great Lakes to get to here. So you didn't ever throw anything away. Absolutely nothing. It always had a use, it always had a function. In fact, if you look in a lot of wills, estates, etc., you'll find that clothing is an inheritance. So the gentleman always had a number of things, and because we live in this region, you have a cross culture. Because remember, England governed this region, Spain governed this region, France governed this region, the native tribes governed this region, and the American colonies finally governed this region. So you have a cross culture. What I have on at the moment are an Indian style moccasin, French style stockings, French style breeches with an exposed fly, and if you ladies will excuse the view here for a second, kind of looks like you got big diaper pants on, designed to bend, work, stoop comfortably. And as you get a little older, some of you, your waistline is going to go like this, and if you work on it, it might go like this, and then all of a sudden it might go like this. Well, the belt wasn't to hold your pants up, the belt was to hold your tools, the edged weapons. To adjust your clothing, you had a gusset in the back. So as your waistline went like this, your breeches could go like this. The shirt is an English design out of cotton, and these two colors, actually because what I use, I throw in a bath of cold water and walnuts for a couple of weeks, and it will come out all kind of mottled and brown and mixed up. The different styles of shoe wear, and these are all Indian styles with some European influence. These are called pucker toes. They are Eastern woodland style. These are Huron. This is brain tan moose skin. This style is the same thing in what we refer to, well, you've heard the term mucklucks. Same idea. They just simply have a high cuff on them designed for cold and wet weather that you could wrap around your leg and keep all the debris out. You could also go one step further.
Did you sew it all?
This style is what we call a Ligonier because they found artifacts of these at Fort Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Therefore, these were designed today after those artifacts they found. They took the center seam moccasin of the Eastern woodland Indian, made them out of oxhide, cowhide, etc. And the first thing they did was they would sew about 3 soles right on the bottom. Because with this style, if you're going to do a lot of traveling, after about 2 days, you probably got a hole wore through. Now you have something that is durable, and if you take and make a duplicate of that moccasin in some old wool scraps, you now have a wool liner. You have a comfortable, durable shoe. However, there's no such thing as waterproof. You just simply retard the ability to retain water with them. Different styles of footwear. A gentleman would never, ever go out in public without his hat on. And they were usually of a big heavy felt, wide brimmed for sun, weather, etc. Again, a pair of breeches, and so you can see a little bit how they're made up close. These again are an exposed French fly style. And the gusset is simply, you're basically going to split the back, sew a piece in, and then of course your ties. This pair are some that I made from deer skin. Same concept. And these are full trousers. It takes about 2 skins to make a pair of pants. About 2 skins to make a shirt.
Are those pewter buttons?
Yes, but these are. And a gentleman would hardly ever go outside without his waistcoat on. His waistcoat, waistcoat, vest coat, or as we know it today, the vest. And you'll see in the different lengths, you're looking at a time period.
It's not like you can just make like a typical nightie go in there.
So if you find,
Once you figure it out, I mean, you have all that.
such as these, that are down about mid-thigh, almost to the knee, you're looking at about a 1750 to approximately 1770 time period, French and Indian War. If you find them about mid-thigh, you're looking at Revolutionary War time period, 1770s, 1780, 1790. Now you're getting closer to the turn of the century. Now you're seeing them around the hip. And then of course, as we recognize from the Western movies today, the vest is up here. So the farther back in time you go, you're going to find them longer and longer. A couple of other items. Cross culture again. French influence with a sash. They could be different colors. This was also an Indian trade item because of the wool and the colors. The sash had 2 functions. Number 1, it acted if you did not wear a belt to carry your knives, etc. You could stuff them in that sash. Or you would put your money in there or anything you wanted to carry. Also, it did actually have a primary function. This one I have altered so that I could tie it on. Normally you would tie them with a big knot, and they may hang down the side, in the back, etc. These I altered in this manner. How many of you got back problems today? You have a back brace you wear, a back support for doing some activity? The Voyager used the same thing. So as he's paddling, as he's portaging units, as he's carrying that canoe, he has back support on. So it was colorful, it had a function, and it was useful. But one more remarkable Indian influence. These were called Indian stockings, or as we know them, leggings. They were designed to slip on. They came up over the breeches. They protected the leg from brush, etc. You could stuff them inside your moccasin, tie the moccasin around it. You've now kept all your debris out. Some they will keep the flap on. Some will have a double flap on. Some will have no flap. But they were designed to be worn and then tied to the belt. These are made from deer skin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does that mean it's going to go off?